got somebody's phone number. And the first, I'd say, few days of us texting, it was extremely, extremely choppy. If I'm trying to get to know you, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not a game that I play. I understand that you do have your own life going on, and I understand that there are other things that are going on in your life, you know. But when it comes to getting to know somebody, that's not going to happen with 5-6 text messages a day. And, you know, I'm a very understanding person, and I do understand that grace has to be given to people. I'm not mad at you. I'm not really going to call you out on it just yet. You know, you might really have been busy these past few days. It's whatever, right? So we get on the phone. Keep in mind, I already told y'all I wasn't too fond of us not really being consistent in communication. But we get on the phone, right? And the conversation, it was okay at first. I'm going to break down every single part of this conversation to y'all. So she texted me. She said something about bringing her dog to the vet, bringing an animal to the vet. So me being a concerned young black citizen of America, I said, you know, what's wrong with the animal? She said, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean? What do I mean? You said you were bringing your animal to the vet. She said, okay, you can't bring an animal to the vet. I said, damn, why are you saying it like that? Like, I don't really hear people too regularly bringing an animal to the vet just for a checkup. She says, so you can't bring an animal to the vet for a checkup? At this point, I say, okay, when's the last time you got a checkup? Trying to change the conversation, keeping the play for trying to joke. She says, okay, that was random. There's already a disconnect right here. Let me explain something to y'all. We're choppy in communication. That's a game that I don't play, right? Now we're on the phone and I'm trying to have a conversation with you and you're already starting on some stupid. Let me continue with the story. So we're still talking, the conversation is going on, you know, and she lives in Atlanta. I live in New Orleans. I asked 2 questions, and please feel free to tell me if I was wrong for asking these 2 questions. I said, so what brought you to Atlanta? And she said, I came to Atlanta because I want to do movies and TVs, and Atlanta's like a black Hollywood. This is the real world, darling. Even in this moment, I still don't know what to say. And as soon as she said that on the phone, I didn't have any words. I'm not going to downplay anybody's dreams or anything like that. You know, dreams are beautiful. Go for them. But okay, that's what you want to do. I'm just going to be very, 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 very honest with y'all. If somebody moves to a different state and it's not really for college or a job reason, it's for a person. You can't convince me otherwise, and don't try to. So, all right. Atlanta's the new black Hollywood. We'll let that be. So then I asked her, the conversation is flowing somewhat besides, right? So I say, how do you like it in Atlanta? She says, I have a love-hate relationship. She just got there. I said, how do you have a love-hate relationship for it and you just got there? And that set something off, I guess. Because here's what happened after that. And up until this point, please let me know where I went wrong at. Because clearly I was the problem in the situation. After I said, you just got there, how do you have a love-hate relationship with something that you just got in? She says, okay, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to start getting irritated, and I can feel myself getting irritated because you're asking me a lot of questions, and that just irritates me. She said, I'm going to be very honest in this moment. I feel myself getting irritated. And if I start answering the questions a certain type of way, it's because I'm getting irritated because you're asking a lot of questions. I then say, is that not how a conversation works? She says, no. Okay, so tell me how a conversation works then. She says, let me show you how a conversation works. This is how a conversation works. Hey, I went to a restaurant last night. Oh, I went to the same restaurant too, and I enjoyed it. And she said, this is what you're doing. This is like an interrogation. Why'd you move to Atlanta? Do you like it there? What do you want to do with your life? What do you do for work? Get it? I said, no, I don't get it. And I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because now things are getting escalated because you're trying to stand on a point that makes no sense. So at this point, right? And again, up until this point, if I did anything, let me know. Now I'm irritated. So what do? I say, you know what? Now I'm irritated. And you just said some dumb shit. So I'm going to let you go. Boop, boop, boop. The call is ended at that point. I'm not about to play this game with you. I'm not playing these games with you. This is the first conversation that we're having. And this is how it's going. Communication has been choppy the first few days of texting. I already don't play that game. Y'all probably heard me say that before. This is the first conversation that we're having on the phone. And you're comfortable enough to tell me, somebody that you're trying to get to know, I'm getting irritated because you're asking me questions. We already had choppy communication with texting, and I don't play that game. And then this is what happens on the phone because I'm trying to get to know you. Like I said, I'm not playing this game with you. I'm not playing these games with you. I'm a grown-ass man. I got things to handle. I got things to do. Where's the respect that another human being deserves? Why are you even comfortable enough to tell somebody something dumb like that? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. You can't even make it make sense. And I guess now that I'm asking you questions that's making you have to reflect on your life choices and decisions, now you're getting mad. Right? Let me explain something, y'all. People tell on themselves so easily. Right? What happened to really trying to get to know somebody? What happened to allowing things to... I don't even know what to say in this moment. I'm not going to say anything that makes sense, so I'm just about to end the video. I just had to get this out to y'all because I need y'all to understand how bad dating is and how much stuff sucks when it comes to getting to know people or trying to get to know people. This stuff is not fun. There's nothing out here. If you got somebody good, hold on to them because you think the grass is greener on the other side and the grass is dead, burnt, and gone. I promise. Think about that. The conversation was not going okay, and I sat through it, still trying to get to know the person. And then you try to tell me how a conversation goes, when clearly I know how a conversation goes. Dumbass.